Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math.
Hi, I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math. And today we're going to learn about solving proportions, and we're going to solve each proportion. So if I was given this proportion here, 10 over 8 equals n over 10. Okay. First things first here, we want to cross multiply. Multiply the 8 by the n and 10 by the 10. So 10 times 10 over here, 10 times 10 equals 8 times n. Simplify that little bad boy a bit. 10 times 10 is 100 equals 8 times n. Now I need to divide by 8. So I divide by 8 to both sides. Leave me, what the heck is 8 into 100? Who knows? Let's do some long division here. 8 into 10 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. Boom. Going down here. 1 times 10 minus 8 is 2. Bring down the 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. Let's bring down the decimal. Let's up this. Let's up this long division to decimals here. Bring down the 0 here. 8 goes into 40. How many times? That's going to be 5 times, right? 5 times 8 is 40. Fantastic. 40 minus 40 is 0. Looking good. And so we have n here on the right and 12.5 on the left. Let's rewrite this n coming first. N equals a 12.5. And that, folks, is my final answer. 7 over 5 equals a good old x over 3. Excuse me, first step first, I need to cross multiply. Okay? Cross multiply here. 7, so it's 7 times 3 on the left here, bring up that 3, and 5 times x. Excuse me, 7 times 3 is 21, and 5 times x is just 5x. Now I want to divide by the 5. Divide by 5 both sides, leaving me on the right with an x. And what's 21 divided by 5? Not leaving it as a fraction. Let's go to the decimal. So, long division, 5 goes into 21. Well, how many times is that? 4 times. 4 times gets me to 20. 5 times 4 is 20. We subtract that. 21 minus 20 is 1. Let's put a decimal place in there. Subtract. I bring down the 0. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Fantastic. Left with a 0. We're done. 4.2 is my answer. Let's rewrite it. Let's put x first. So x equals 4.2. And that, folks, is my final answer. 9 over 6 equals x over 10. Okay? 9 over 6 equals x over 10. Well, I need to cross multiply that, right? Let's cross multiply this. Bring the 10 and 6 up. 9 times 10, we write over here to the left, and 6 times x on the right. Okay, 9 times 10 is 90. Fairly simple. Equals 6x. 6 times x being 6x. Now I need to divide by 6 of both sides to let x be by itself. It needs to be by itself. He's a loner. Alright, so how many times does 6 go into 90? Well, 6 goes into 9 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. We subtract them. 9 minus 6 is 3. Bring down the good old 0. 6 goes into 35 times. 5 times 6 is 30. And we're done. They cancel, right? 30 minus 30 is 0. And so x is 15. But, like always, let's write this x value coming first. We have x equals 15 right there. And that, folks, is our final answer. 7 over n equals 8 over 7. Well, I'm going to cross multiply first, giving me 7 times 7 on the left, and n times 8 on the right. So 7 times 7 is 49. And I can rewrite this n times 8 or 8n. It really doesn't matter by the community property. So now I need to divide by 8 to both sides, leaving me with n on the right. But what's 49 divided by 8? So we do some long division here. 8 goes into 49. Well, 8 goes into 49 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtracting, get a 1. Bring down the 0. 8 goes into 10. Well, that's 1 time. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract them. 10 minus 8 is 2. Bring down the other 0 here. 8 goes into 20. Excuse me, well, that's 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract them, got a 4. one more 0, hopefully. We should be done here, but 8 goes into 40. That's 5 times. 5 times 5 times 8 right here. All right, 5 times 8 is 40, giving me a 0. Okay, I'm finally done. I have 6.125 here. Let's write n coming first. Looks nicer. N equals 6.125, and that is my final answer. 4 over 3 equals 8 over x. Well, first step, I need to cross multiply. Cross multiply. X times 4 is 4 times x, and 3 times 8 on the right. 4 times x, we just write as 4x, and 3 times 8 is good old 24. I then need to divide by 4 to both sides. What's 24 divided by 4? Well, x is on the left, 24 divided by 4 is 6, and that's it. That's my final answer. X equals 6 here. 7 over b plus 5, and that equals 10 over 5. Okay? Well, I need to cross multiply here. 7 times 5 on the left, and 10 times, I'm going to write it like this, b plus 5. Multiplication really doesn't matter which one comes first. I like to have the more complicated part in parentheses to the right. Well, 7 times 5 is 35. Okay? Now I need to distribute that 10. So 10 times b is 10b, and 10 times 5 is 50. So now I need to combine my like terms. So I'm going to subtract a 50 to both sides, leaving me with 35 minus 50, which comes out to be negative 15, equals 10b. I then divide it by 10 to both sides, and hopefully you can do this off the top of your head, but negative 15 divided by 10 is a negative 1.5. And so let's write b coming first, because that looks nicer. So b equals negative 1.5 here. Okay? 6 over b minus 1 equals 9 over 7. Okay? First thing, I need to cross multiply. 6 times 7 over here, and 9 times b minus 1. Well, 6 times 7, that's 42. And distribute the 9, we have 9b here, minus 9. 9 times 1, right? Excuse me. Let's bring our like terms together, so I'm going to add a 9 to both sides. Okay? And adding a 9 to both sides gives me a 51 here on the left equals 9b. I divide by 9. And what's 51 divided by 9? Well, let's use my calculator here. 51 divided by 9 comes out to be 5.666666. 5.666, repeating over there. So we can round that to the nearest, what is it, 100th? Yeah, 100th, that's good enough. So round to the nearest 100th here, changing that 6. Well, that 6 causes that one to round up. So we have b is approximately here 5.67, or you can even say exactly b is equal to 5.6, whatever you prefer. In my opinion, if your teacher is really strict and says round to the nearest 100th, that's fine, you can do that there, but I actually like it when it's more perfect. Like that's like the real answer, 5.6 repeating. Well, either way, that works for me here. 4 over m minus 8 equals, big equal sign here, 8 over 2. Again, like always, let's cross multiply. 4 times 2, I'm going to write as 4 times 2, but then I have 8 times m minus 8, okay? Now I need to distribute the 8 times m to be 8m, and 8 times 8 is 64, so minus 64, and on the right, 4 times 2 is just 8. So now I need to combine my like terms here. I'm going to add a 64 to both sides, leaving me with, well it's 8 plus 64. That's 72 equals 8m. Excuse me, I got that burping here. Divided by 8 to both sides, leaving me with the m on the right, and 72 divided by 8 being a 9 on the left. Let's write this nice and neat. M comes first, and then we have a 9, and m equals 9 is our final answer. 5 over 6 equals 7n plus 9 over 9. My first step would be to cross multiply. Okay. Cross multiply here. Well, I have 5 times 9 on the left, and 6 times 7n plus 9 on the right. 5 times 9 is 45, and I distribute the 6. 6 times 7n is 42n, and 6 times 9 here. Well, I love whenever I have a chance using the 9 tricks, right? I didn't know this until I was like a senior in college, actually. So if I want to do 6 times 9, I do have my fingers go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the answer would be 54, right? 5 and a 4. I like using that. 54 here, okay? So now let's bring our like terms together. So I'm going to subtract a 54 to both sides. That's a 4 first. 50. That's an ugly 54, but it's okay. It's good enough here. So 45 minus 54 is a negative 9 equals a 42n. Now I need to divide by 42 to both sides, leaving me with, I'm going to use my calculator for this, 9 divided by 42 is, oh, it's complicated. One's going to go on forever. Glad I didn't do it by hand. Negative 9 divided by 42 is a negative divided by positive, which is a negative, so I have a negative, and 0. Let's go 214, and that's approximately. So I'm going to change that equal to approximate. Okay, because I was rounding here. Okay, now I didn't specify to what what place we're going to do here, so I can write it with n coming first. So n is approximately. That's an ugly approximate. Well, you get the gist. Is negative 0.214 here. Okay. Over 9 equals r minus 3 over 6. Okay. First step is I need to cross multiply. And I can never make the equals big enough from the beginning. Okay? 6, I keep having this sauce water. 6 times 4 is 24, right? Or I've been writing it out here. 4 times 6 equals 9 times r minus 3. Now 4 times 6 is 24. Distribute the 9 across. 9 times r is 9r, and 9 times 3 is 27. Give me a second there. Okay, now I'm going to bring my like terms together. So I'm going to add a 27 to both sides. Okay, so 24 plus 27, well, 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 50, or 5. So we have 51 equals a 9r. I now need to divide by 9 to both sides, leaving me with the r on the right. And what's 51 divided by 9? Let's use our calculator here. 51 divided by 9 comes out to be 5.6 repeating. And this one here, you know what? I'm not rounding. 5.6 repeating is a fantastic answer. It shows me you have true knowledge of this problem. I'm not grading you here, well, in general, but I'm not grading on your rounding issue, or rounding ability, not issues. You don't have an issue with rounding. You're great. So we have 5.6 repeating. So let's write r coming first. Looks nice and neat. So we have r equals 5.6 repeating, and there we go. That's our final answer. 7 over 9 equals b over b minus 10. Well, my first step here is I need to cross multiply. I'm going to cross multiply the b minus 10 by 7 and the 9 by b. So I have 7 times b minus 10 equals 9 times b. Well, I need to distribute that 7 across here. So I'm going to distribute the 7 times b, which gives me 7b. That's a 6. 7b minus 7 times 10, which is 7b, equals 9b. Okay. Well, I'm going to subtract the 7b over to the right, leaving me with a negative 7b equals 9b minus 7b, which is 2b. Well, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, leaving me with negative 70 divided by 2, which is a negative 35. And that is just equal to b. Now I'm going to write it nice and neat right here with b coming first. So we have b equals a negative 35. And there we go. That's our final answer. 9 over k minus 7 equals 6 over k. Well, first step, I need to, like always, cross multiply. Cross multiply here. 9 times k is 9k. And I'm given 6 here times k minus 7. Okay? Well then, From there, I need to distribute the k across. So first I have the 9k down here. Okay, I distribute the k across. Excuse me, so I have k times 6, which is 6k. And then I have 6 times 7, which comes out to be 42. Okay, so now I bring my like variables together. So I'm going to subtract the 6k to the left. So I have minus the 6k here. Subtract the 6k. Leaving me with 9k minus 6k is 3k equals a negative 42. Well, how many times does 3 go into negative 42, right? Because I need to divide by 3 to both sides. Well, I'm left with, well, what's 3 into 42? Well, 3 goes into 42. Let's write it right here. 3 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. I subtract them. I have a 1, bring down the 2. And 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Fantastic. We're left with 0. And so negative 42 divided by 3, it's a negative divided by positive is going to be a negative, so we have a negative 14. And so my final answer here is k equals a negative 14. 4 over n plus 2 equals a good old 7 over n. Not centered, but it's okay. I'm going to cross multiply. That's my first step here. Cross multiply like that. Give me a 4 times n on the left and a 7 times n plus 2 on the right. Okay. Well, I need to distribute that 7 across. So 7 times n is 7n, and 7 times 2 is 14. And bring down the 4n right here. So let's combine our like terms. And this is the tricky part. So I'm going to subtract the 7n to both sides. That gives me here a negative 3n on the left and a positive 14 on the right. I then needed to divide by negative 3 to both sides because the opposite of that multiplication is division. Divided by negative 3. Leave me with n on the left equals, well, what's 14 divided by negative 3? Okay, well, we can do our long division here, okay, with that. And then if you know off the top of your head, that's going to be 4 and negative 4 and 2/3 or 4.66. So let's go use our calculator here. 14 divided by 3 comes out to be 4.6666. Repeating, but it's negative because a positive divided by negative is a negative. So I have a negative 4.6 repeating right there. I'm going to keep it exact. I'm not rounding here on this one here. So 14 divided by negative 3 is really 4 and 2/3. And that comes out to be negative 4.6 repeating. N over n minus 3 equals 2 over 3. Okay? Well, first thing is I need to cross multiply. 3 times n is that n times 3. I'll leave it like that. Equals that 2 times n minus 3. Okay? I'm going to distribute that 2 across here. 2 times n is 2n. Minus 2 times 3, which is 6. N times 3 is the same thing as 3 times n, right? Well, if I subtracted 2n to both sides and bring all the n's together, okay, 3n minus 2n is just 1n, and that equals what's left here is negative 6. And this one is actually fairly simple. Very quick problem here. My final answer being just n equals a negative 6. It's a good old proportion, x minus 3 over x equals 9 over 10. I'm going to cross multiply. Boom, boom. 10 times x minus 3 is 10 times x minus 3 equals 9 times x, which is 9x. Distribute that 10 across. 10 times x is 10x, and 10 times 3 is 30, equals 9x, okay? So let's go combine our like terms. Let's subtract the 10x to both sides. Let's do it this way. Not how I normally do it, but it's all good. Subtract negative 10x to both sides, leaving me with a negative 30 on the left, and 9x minus 10x being a negative x on the right. I then want to divide by negative 1 to both sides, leave me with an x on the right, and a negative 30 divided by negative 1, which is a positive 30 on the left. Now, if you know my videos, we know we need to rearrange this, have x come first, because that looks nice and neat. And so my final answer is x equals 30. 5 over r minus 9 equals 8 over r plus 5. First things first, I gotta cross multiply. Let's cross multiply here. So I have 5 times r plus 5 on the left equals 8, I'll put 8 first here, r minus 9. Well, now we got to cross multiply. 5 times r is 5r, and 5 times 5 is 25. I then distribute here the 8 as well. 8 times r is 8r. Oh, not subtracting here. It's, not equal, just subtracting. And 8 times 9, and again, I always like to use the 9s here. The 9s trick here, I have my hands up here. Let's go 9 times 8. Let's go 8 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Leaving me with 7 here, and then 2 left on the right, so 72. 8 times 9, 72. I can't believe I never learned that trick in high school. It wasn't until senior year of college I heard that trick. I don't know why. Most people heard this really early. I love it. Anyway, doesn't matter. So let's go combine our like terms here. I'm going to subtract a 5r to both sides. And I'm going to add a 72, if I can write 72, to both sides as well. 8r minus 5r is 3r, and 25 plus 72, 5 plus 2 is that 7, 7 plus 2 is a 9, so I have 97 here. Okay, so 97 equals 3r. I'm going to divide by 3 to both sides. You can see it. See if this goes into it. Did I add this right up? Yes, I did. Okay, so now I have r by itself on the right, and what's 97 divided by 3? That does not, in fact, go in evenly. I just dropped my marker, but that's right. 97 divided by 3 comes out to be 32.3 repeating. So 32.3 repeating. I'm not rounding it here, so I don't need to put an approximate. So I'm going to put r right first, because that looks nice and neat. And I'm left with r equals a 32.3 repeating. And of course, I could have done long division, but I just used my calculator for this problem here. Here, p plus 10 over p minus 7 equals 8 over 9. Well, first thing, I need to cross multiply here. 9 times p plus 10 on the left equals 8, times p minus 7. Now, I always put the number first and the numbers in parentheses. I find it easier to distribute, which is my next step here. I distribute here. 9 times p is 9p, plus 9 times 10, which is 90. And 8 times p is 8p, minus 8 times 7 is 56. So now I need to combine my like terms. I'm going to subtract an 8p to both sides, and I'm subtracting a 90 to both sides. On the left-hand side, 9p minus 8p is just 1p, equals, well, negative 56 minus 90 is in the more negative direction. Gives me, it's almost like I'm adding together, right? 6 here, and then 5 plus, 6 plus 0 is 6, and 5 plus 9 is 14. And then negative plus negative is negative. So we have a negative 146, so p equals a negative 146. Okay? 2 over 8 equals n plus 4 over n minus 4. Okay? Well, first thing, I need to cross multiply here. 2 times n minus 4 here equals 8 times n plus 4. I then want to distribute the 2 across, so 2 times n is 2n, and 2 minus times 4 is 8, so we have 2n minus 8 equals, distribute the 8 across here, 8 times n is 8n, plus 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, so now I need to bring my like terms together. So I'm going to subtract a 2n to both sides, and I'm going to subtract a 32 to both sides. That leaves me with 8n minus 2n, which is 6n, over, equal to negative 8 minus negative 32, or plus negative 32 is a negative 40, okay? So then from there, I want to see how many times does 6 go into 40. So I'm going to divide by 6 to both sides, leaving me with, well, what's negative 40 divided by 6? 40 divided by 6 comes out to be, well, it's a negative, right? Negative divided by a positive is a negative. Negative 6.6 repeating. Okay? So now I need to write that nice and neat, put n coming first. So if n equals a negative 6.6 repeating, no need for rounding here. I prefer putting the bar up top, and so I can keep it an equal sign. Portion, n minus 5 over n plus 8 equals 2 over 7. Well, first thing, I need to cross multiply. So I have 7 times n minus 5 equals 2 times n plus 8. Well, distribute here. 7 times n is 7n. And then 7 times 5 is 35 equals 2 times n, which is 2n, plus 2 times 8, which is 16. Let's bring our like terms together. So I'm going to subtract a 2n to both sides. And I'm going to add a 35 to both sides, right? Opposite of that subtraction there. 7n minus 2n is 5n equals 35, or 16 plus 35. Well, 6 plus 5, let's bring it down here, is 11. Carry that 1, that's up there. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so we have 51. So we have 5n equals 51. I divide by 5 to both sides, leaving me with n equals, well, what's 51 divided by 5? I don't know off the top of my head. It's 10 point something. 51 divided by 5 comes out to be 10.2. Right? 51 divided by 5. Yep, it's 10.2. There we go. And so that, folks, is our final answer. N minus 6 over n minus 7 equals 9 over 2. I need to cross multiply. So I'm going to cross multiply to both sides here, or both parts here, giving me 2 times n minus 6 on the left equals 9 times n minus 7 on the right. So let's distribute the 2 across here. 2 times n is 2n, minus 2 times 6, which is 12. 12, not 16. What am I writing there? Okay. No, 2 times 6 is 12. Now distribute across, the 9. 9 times n is 9n, and then 9 times 7. And again, whenever I see the 9s, I like saying this trick, because I don't know if you're watching all my videos here. 9 times 7, let's go on my fingers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th digit here is 63. So I have 6 and a 3 here. So 9 times 7 is 63. Nice little trick there. Anyway, just there to help you if you need it. So I'm going to bring my like terms together. So I'm going to subtract the 2n to both sides here. And I'm going to add a 63 to both sides. So leaving me on the right, 9n minus 2n, which is 7n here. And what's 63, or negative 12 plus 63? Well, that's the same thing as 63 minus 12, which really comes out to be a 1 here on the right, and a 5 on the left. So we have 51 equals 7n. Okay, and so I need to divide by 7 to both sides, giving me n by itself on the right. And what's 51 divided by 7? Oh, 51 divided by 7 comes out to be 51 divided by 7 is 7.28. Yes, correct. 7.2857 approximately. Okay, so if I round it out and putting n first, n is approximately 7.29. Okay, rounding out at 2.285, that's a 5 there. 7, rounded out to be n is approximately 7.29, and that is my final answer.
Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math. Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.